Now at 9, help is on the way for rural hospitals at risk of cybersecurity and ransomware attacks. Plus, the Parsons Police Department recognizes Good Samaritans who saved lives in last week's fatal house fire. And planning to hire a professional to help with that big move this summer? Why you need to do your research first.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Ascension Via Christi Hospital in Pittsburgh bounces back after a ransomware attack earlier this year. This is KOAM News at 9. I'm Tanya Bach. Hospital officials say patient documentation technology is back online. The systems were taken offline following the ransomware attack. Officials say this update should mean improved efficiencies and wait times for patients. Rural hospitals across the country could soon get help with their cybersecurity thanks to 2 national companies. Chris Bryant spoke with the Missouri Rural Health Association about the new programs Microsoft and Google are offering.
If they have patients in the hospital currently and they get attacked by a cyber attack, it can affect all levels. So everything is digitized now.
Healthcare and public health are a popular target for ransomware attacks in the United States. According to the 2023 FBI Internet Crime Report, nearly 1,200 critical infrastructure organizations reported attacks to their systems. Of those, 249 were healthcare and public health.
So when a hospital is attacked, time is of the essence. They have to get services restored quickly. Otherwise, they're going to have to transfer patients out of the hospital to other facilities, which means a loss of more income for the organization. In some cases, it can take a massive toll on these hospitals that could take years to recover from.
Now the largest software company in the world is stepping up to help rural hospitals. Microsoft is offering rural health care companies nonprofit pricing and discounts of up to 75% for security products and advanced security programs for a year at larger hospitals.
Rural hospitals have been hit with cyber attacks in the past, so this is a massive plus for our rural hospitals to be able to get us some assistance. IT is notoriously expensive, and these cyber attacks, when they happen, a lot of the times the hospitals just pay the ransom, and that could be millions and millions of dollars that they just don't have in their bottom line.
The partnership includes Microsoft, Google, the Biden-Harris administration, American Hospital Association, and the National Rural Health Association. For the Missouri Rural Health Association, it sees this as a win for rural health care and could save lives.
So the medical records, they could have issues accessing that. They could have issues with medication dispensing. A lot of the times, medication is dispensed from a machine. And so if for some reason it got attacked as well, I know that happened recently at a hospital here in Missouri. They were having to really scramble to be able to fill prescriptions even. They were having to do it by hand, which can lead to medication errors. It's just a huge undertaking.
Well, a Dunawig, Missouri man is charged with child sex crimes. Jasper County detectives last week searched the home of 36-year-old David Arnhart as part of their investigation. They arrested him during the search, and he is now charged with 2 counts of first-degree sodomy and 1 count of furnishing pornographic material to a minor. Meteorologist Lindsay Gaffney joins us now with a first look at weather.
Well, temperatures now dropping down to the lower 70s, and it's got a nice little sunset out there. Nice breeze from the northeast, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Not too bad out there tonight. It is clear right now, but we do start to see some clouds moving in the overnight hours. We're going to have a pretty cloudy Tuesday as well. Temperatures across the region a little warmer in the southwest, 76 in Veneta, 78 in Nowata, but cooler up in the northeast. Nevada 70, Stockton 70 as well. Now, temperatures are going to start to warm up in the next couple of days and in the next couple of weeks as we are entering the summer seasons, officially out of severe weather season, but we do still have a flood advisory in effect for Vernon County until Tuesday at 8 a.m. and as well in Neosho River. We've got a couple warnings in a couple different counties as well. Those remain in effect until Wednesday morning. Now I'll have more details for you in just a bit.
All right, thanks, Lindsay. Well, the Parsons Police Department recognizes the efforts of Good Samaritans following a fatal house fire. Authorities say they have been interviewing those who assisted to learn more about their actions and to also thank them for stepping up. KOAM's Samantha Walker reports.
I feel for the remaining kids that are still alive, all her friends, family, co-workers. It's a horrible tragedy.
Tragedy is the word that has been used to describe this fatal house fire in Parsons, which took the life of a mother and her 18-month-old baby. But in this story of tragedy, a bit of good is brought to light.
As a community, when something like this happens, that we are there for each other, that we are there to support each other, help each other. This tragedy could have been a lot worse had it not been for the Good Samaritans.
Following the fire, the Parsons Police Department was made aware of the involvement of several Good Samaritans. They asked for those involved to come forward to do interviews with authorities so they can learn more about what happened. Officials say many were helping to assist victims even before firefighters, EMS, and police arrived.
We had some that brought the kids out and the mom. We had others that were helping take them across the street to get them away from the fire. We had some just there to help in any way they could.
Authorities in Parsons say they just want to thank the brave Good Samaritans who stepped up in a time of need.
The biggest thing I could tell them is that how much and how grateful that we at the police department, that they were there and that they could help this family. And while it still ended up being a tragedy with the 2 deaths, we still have, the remaining people. And to me, that's important, that they stepped up and helped.
Reporting in Parsons, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
The Parsons Police Department says they are still investigating the fire, including its cause. Multiple other agencies are involved, including the Kansas State Fire Marshal's Office and the Labette County Sheriff's Office. Well, young musicians today had a chance to advance their skills. Pitt State hosted the Josiah Fletcher Jazz Camp for students in 6th through 12th grades. The 2-day camp provides the students with an educational experience regardless of their skill level. The camp is hosted in honor of Josiah Fletcher, a Pittsburgh High School student and bass player who passed away during his senior year.
We are so grateful for all our supporters. We've had so many supporters that have come in and made this possible. This is a really great opportunity for some of our students to work not only in a wonderful facility like the Bicknell Family Center for the Arts, but then also with these professional musicians to truly get even more tips that they can take and put into their own practice.
Well, the camp continues tomorrow before it's capped off with a concert at 6 p.m. Well, coming up, lights, camera, action. Up next in Health Watch, how movie sets are becoming more inclusive, particularly for actors living with autism. Topping today's Health Watch, doctors say they're getting closer to understanding Parkinson's disease. Scientists from the University of Dundee say they found a molecular switch in the brain that helps protect people from the disease. The hope is it could one day lead to drugs that benefit patients. Parkinson's is the fastest growing brain disorder in the world with no effective treatments to slow the condition. The new Hollywood film Ezra has big name stars like Robert De Niro and Bobby Cannavale, and a teenage actor who has something in common with his character. He's living with autism. Bradley Blackburn shows how the film's producers work to make their set more inclusive and how other workplaces might learn from it.
So that he could order himself a
ice cream.
The film Ezra tells the story of a young boy with autism spectrum disorder and the journey it begins for his entire family. Bobby Cannavale and Rose Byrne play his divorced parents, and the star,
Not a cameo. And
title role.
title role.
15-year-old William Fitzgerald.
If this does get nominated for an Oscar, I might be too overwhelmed to attend. I might just say hi via Zoom meeting. That's my plan.
Director Tony Goldwyn cast William after a nationwide search, determined to find a neurodivergent actor to bring this story to the screen.
I wanted the autism community to see this movie and be like, yep, you guys got it right.
William has been diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder, or ASD, and ADHD. It was a priority to make the set a comfortable space. His parents, David and Laura Fitzgerald, worked closely with the crew.
They had training for the cast and crew. They always had a quiet room on set, so if William needed to take a break, he could step aside and just have a quiet place to regroup.
The CDC says more than 5 million adults in the U.S. have ASD. By some estimates, their unemployment rate is 85%. Making workplaces and hiring more inclusive can help open doors to people ready to contribute.
So what made you want to get into acting?
I thought it would be fun.
William may share a diagnosis with his character, but their personalities are very different.
This kid's like the opposite of me. He doesn't like hugs. All I know is I gave hugs every 2 minutes to the cast.
A movie that embraced William, showing everyone what's possible. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
Ezra also hired a neurodivergent producer and crew members to work behind the scenes. We're learning new details about how the brain works when we have to make an important decision. Researchers at New York University tested human brain activity while navigating a maze on a computer. They found when we plan something, the prefrontal cortex and hippocampus actually create a mental simulation, visualizing different options, and that helps us make important decisions. Aging in the body increases even if the brain only thinks we're overeating. A study of animals found that even if their diet had not changed at all, when cells in the brain were given information that the animal was overeating, their internal organs showed more signs of aging. The study authors say this could help them understand how brain processes could lengthen or shorten a person's lifespan. Lindsay is next with a complete look at your forecast. And later, Kansas lawmakers take steps to address rising property taxes.
Well, we've got a cool night ahead and one of the last ones we're going to see this season. Now, let's take a look outside at downtown Joplin from the Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex. A nice little northerly breeze, a few clouds in the area, and we had a nice sunset earlier as well. Overall, pretty good looking evening. We do still have a flood advisory in effect for Vernon County, and that remains in effect until Tuesday morning at 8 a.m. Now, along the Neosho River, there are a couple flood warnings as well, and those remain in effect until Wednesday morning. Outside of that, we're looking pretty dry for the next week and a half. We don't have much going on. You can see a few storms that are forming in Nebraska, but we're going to stay dry. They stay north of us as this trough shifts up to the north, so we're going to be in the clear. We don't have any rain chances going on until next week, which is good. I know we've had a very active severe weather season, and that did give us a relief from our drought conditions. So now all of our counties are completely out of drought. But when we move into the summer months, temperatures do start to warm up, 90s, 100s, and we don't see a lot of rainy days. Could cause some concern for drought to return. But that won't happen in the next couple of weeks, luckily. We can enjoy the sunny days. Tomorrow is going to be a bit cloudier though. Temperatures are going to warm up by noon, already in the mid to upper 70s. We're going to get to see mid to upper 80s for our high tomorrow. And that's going to stay on a warming trend as we move into later this weekend and the weekend. So tomorrow we've got that cloudy day due to the rain from the south and from the north. But like I said, we're staying dry. We've got a nice ridge that's forming over our area, over most of western U.S., and that's going to stay like that for the next week and a half. Wednesday afternoon, still looking dry. We've got a nice breeze going on. It's going to shift from the south on Tuesday, so it'll be a nice southerly breeze. We get those temperatures really warming up. Thursday, we may have a chance of rain on Friday, slight chance, 10-15% light shower, but outside of that, we're going to stay dry. And although we are staying dry, humidity values are going up as we get into the 90-degree temperatures. So as of right now, we're only 80s, 90s, but in the next couple of weeks, we're really warming up, 90s, even getting into the hundreds. Not to mention with the humidity, it really just makes it feel a lot hotter. So be mindful of any type of heat illnesses. Drink plenty of water because we do not have a lot of rain in this forecast. A lot of sunny skies going on. Temperatures down, dropping into the low 70s, and staying in the 90s pretty consistently. Sunday is going to be our hottest day on the forecast, of 95-degree temperature forecasted, and a lot of sunny days. We've got a chance of rain showers, like I said, Friday night in the overnight hours, light shower, and then again next Wednesday.
A lot of sunshine on there. I wish it didn't mean so much heat though.
Yeah, there is a lot of, give and take. You get stormy weather, but nice temperatures, or sunny days and really hot temperatures.
That's for sure. All right, thanks, Lindsay. Well, for state golfers raise money for children battling disease. The Storms had postponed the Freeman Hill System Tournament of Miracles last week, so it teed off today instead at Twin Hills Golf and Country Club in Joplin. The 18-hole, four-person golf scramble raises money for Children's Miracle Network hospitals at Freeman Health System.
To get out here and through this partnership, we're making miracles happen, and with the help of our community partners, we're going to continue to make miracles for our local children here for a long time.
This is the 32nd year Freeman has hosted the Tournament of Miracles. Well, coming up, finding the best deal.
Home insurance rates are on the rise, but there are ways to lower those premiums. I'm Christine Lazar, and I'll tell you what they are.
Home insurance rates have skyrocketed in the past few years, and people living in areas at higher risk of fires and hurricanes are being hit the hardest. Christine Lazar has tips on how to find affordable coverage.
Like most Americans, Gaurav Bardwaj is dealing with inflation.
Everything is going up.
That includes the insurance on his 1,600 square foot house. Nationwide, home insurance rates are up nearly 38% since 2019, according to LendingTree. But it's much more in some states. Bardwaj lives in Southern California, where his rates just skyrocketed 200%.
Even if I shop around, I may be able to save like $4, $5, $10 a month. But it's going to be a hassle. So I think I have to live with that.
I see people paying anywhere from $5,000, $6,000 where it used to be $1,500 or $2,000.
Carl Sussman is an independent insurance broker. He says you can cut your premium if you're able to live with a high deductible.
Well, don't just say I'll go from $500 to $1,000. Look to go from $1,000 to $5,000, even $10,000 if you can. And even though that seems like a lot, keep in mind if there's a large claim that you have, your home burns to the ground, for example, $10,000 is probably not going to make or break you being able to rebuild your home.
Homeowners should also take a closer look at their policy.
Personal property, that's your stuff in the house. If you look at that number and you say, I don't have that much personal property, then you can reach out to the carrier or your broker and say, let's lower that down.
And some homeowners are going a step further.
You have a leak right now, but you're not going to file an insurance claim.
I am not filing an insurance claim.
Eric Brooks' insurance costs more than his property tax, and he's worried a claim would only increase it.
I couldn't imagine any more than this.
Some insurance companies will lower monthly payments if you make upgrades like a security system, storm windows, or a fire sprinkler system. Christine Lazar, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Well, Kansas is among a handful of states taking steps to limit or cut rising property taxes as home values dramatically increase. Colorado, Alabama, and Wyoming have new laws that limit the rise in tax-assessed values for homeowners. Colorado also has a ballot proposal that could cap the growth of property tax revenue. Nebraska and Kansas will hold special legislative sessions to address property tax relief. And Georgia voters will decide in November if increases in assessed home values should be limited. According to the Better Business Bureau, more people move during the summer than any time of the year. If you're planning to hire help for an upcoming move, there are a few things you should keep in mind. Experts say do your research. You can look for trustworthy companies on the American Moving and Storage Association's website. Be sure to ask prospective movers for proof that they're licensed, and do not forget about insurance.
Every company is different, so you need to ask the question about what that company's insurance covers. You can also check and see if you have any coverage under your homeowner's insurance, and you may still need to purchase additional insurance on your own.
You also want to know you're getting a fair deal. Consumer advocates suggest getting 3 written estimates and be wary of an estimate that seems too good to be true. Tesla's 8th biggest shareholder, Norway's wealth fund, says it will vote against approving CEO Elon Musk's $56 billion pay package. Shareholders are set to vote on the package this week. A Delaware judge invalidated it earlier this year. And there's another run on those mini tote bags at Trader Joe's, this time for an insulated version. The grocery store chain quickly sold out of mini canvas bags selling for $2.99. The mini coolers are $1 more. Now, the bags are selling on resale sites for substantially more. Well, a Joplin alpaca farm names its newest addition today. That story up next. Did you know alpacas can be pregnant for over a year? Wow. Meet Wild Ivy, the newest addition to the Magajupa mine alpacas in southeast Joplin near Dunweg. Now, her mother was pregnant 357 days before she gave birth to the baby, or cria alpaca. Wild Ivy turned 1 week old today and officially received her name. The farm now has 13 total in its alpaca herd.
All the aunts, we call the females, they'll come up and sniff and check her out, probably chase her around a little bit. And then some of them will start licking their face, licking the baby's face, and that passes rumen that helps them just develop.
Magajupa will also be hosting a You Pick flower farm in the coming weeks. Waiting for that noise there. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports is coming your way. The Missouri Department of Conservation announces it's closing the Walter Woods Conservation Area in Newton County. We explain why. Plus, the city of Springfield is suing a 3M plant, claiming it's created pollution in 3 different waterways.
You're watching the 4 states' most watched news.
This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. The Missouri Department of Conservation announces it is temporarily closing the Walter Woods Conservation Area in Newton County. The department says it noted structural concerns with vehicular and pedestrian bridges during a recent inspection. A reopening date has not yet been set because of EPA remediation work scheduled to begin there later this year. Now, the inspection was a precursory step in the remediation work. A road collapse is causing major problems in Wyoming at the start of the summer tourist season. From June through September, roughly 12,000 people use Highway 22 each day to reach destinations like Yellowstone National Park. All that remains now is an 80-foot drop that plummets into the valley below. It's unclear when the highway will reopen, and even just surveying the damage could take weeks. While officials look for some short-term relief options, traveling through the mountainous region could take up to 3 times as long. Well, the city of Springfield is suing the 3M plant there, claiming it's polluting 3 waterways around the city. The lawsuit claims the plant discharges pollutants through its stormwater systems. Lauren Schwenker reports the utility is seeking money from 3M to install technology to remedy the problem.
PFAS is kind of an emerging threat to water quality. They've been around for over 70 years, but it's something that EPA has put more restrictions on.
PFOs, also known as forever chemicals, are a growing concern, and those concerns are happening here in Springfield. It comes as City Utilities is suing 3M Company, claiming the plant is polluting waterways in the Ozarks. Brent Stock is with the James River Basin, a nonprofit which helps clean up the waterways.
When it comes to filtering out PFAS, we're going to see lots of new technology having to be installed on drinking water treatment plants. It's likely going to be technology that is not currently in place. It's going to cost these agencies quite a bit of money to implement.
We asked City Utilities to speak on the lawsuit. CU sent a statement saying, in part, through this lawsuit, City Utilities intends to hold 3M accountable to stop the illegal discharges of PFAS, clean up impacted water sources, and pay for the PFAS barrier technology needed at the Blackman WTP as a result of 3M's mismanagement of PFA chemicals at the plant site. We also reached out to 3M and got this statement back. As the science and technology of PFAS, societal and regulatory expectations, and our expectations of ourselves have evolved, so is how we manage PFAS. 3M will address PFA litigation by defending itself in court or through negotiated resolutions, all as appropriate. Local doctors say the forever chemicals are associated with a number of diseases, and it's hard to pinpoint where problems can start.
Part of the problem is the effects are not readily observable. They may take years to show up, and therefore it's sometimes hard to make a connection between a health condition and previous exposure to these chemicals.
Dr. David Barb says you can get tested if you think you've had exposure to these chemicals through a blood test. City Utilities says it's staying proactive with testing and blending water sources to keep it safe for public consumption and that your drinking water is safe.
Well, the city says it gave 90 days notice to 3M, the Missouri Department of Natural Resources, and the Environmental Protection Agency. According to the complaint, after Missouri DNR and the EPA did not take action, City Utilities chose to file the lawsuit. Well, the Erie, Kansas City Public Library and Neosho County Conservation District held a Conservation Day program today. The program emphasizes to kids the importance of different organisms and cycles in our environment. Officials also hope it sparks interest in children for career paths in conservation in the future.
It gives them an interest. You know, at a young age like that, it gives them an interest, and then when they get into high school, maybe that interest is stuck with them and they can start looking into careers of how they can get into conservation of some sort.
The students today created their own edible dirt to learn more about soil. What kid doesn't like to eat dirt? Well, after falling behind in the artificial intelligence arms race, today Apple showcases its plans to incorporate artificial intelligence at the annual Worldwide Developers Conference. Later in the show, we learn which systems feature the new tech and when you can expect it.
Well, it's looking pretty good out there. We'll go ahead and take a look outside of downtown Joplin from the Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex. A nice northerly breeze, a few clouds, but overall a really good looking evening, and it's going to stay pretty cool as well. Dropping down to the low 60s, upper 50s for our low tonight. It's going to be one of the last cooler nights that we see this summer season. We do start to warm up in the next couple of weeks. Now, we've had a lot of rainfall this last weekend. We still have a flood advisory in effect for Vernon County until Tuesday morning at 8 a.m. Not to mention a couple counties along the Neosho River have a flood warning in effect until Wednesday morning. So all in all, we've got a few flood conditions in our area still from all the rain that we got, but we're staying dry for the next week and a half at least. We do have a few rain showers north of us, south of us in the next couple of days, but we're going to stay pretty dry. We've had a lot of rainfall this severe weather season, and that was a good thing. We're completely out of a drought and any drought conditions in our area. However, as we do start to warm up, temperatures getting up to the 90s, 100s with not a lot of rain in a couple of weeks span, we could go back into a drought. So we'll keep a close eye on it. As of right now, we're looking pretty good. Tomorrow it's going to be pretty cloudy. We start to see those clouds really increase before noon, and temperatures before noon nearly 80 degrees. We're getting up to the mid 80s tomorrow, and it's just going to keep warming up from there as we do have a ridge forming over our area. The reason we're having those clouds, though, a shortwave trough north of us near Omaha, Minneapolis, and that's giving us some rain, but we're not going to get the rain just north of us. We are still seeing those clouds, though. When that moves out of the area, we've got a really long ridge forming over most of western U.S., and that's why we see that warming trend and no rain in the forecast for several days. We've got a slight chance of a rain shower Friday night, 10%, not much in the way of rain until next week. When that happens, we do start to see more heat stroke, heat exhaustion as well, especially with the humidity levels. As of right now, we're pretty dry, less than 40% humidity, but in the next couple of days when these temperatures really ramp up into the mid to upper 90s, we do see those humidity levels really get up there as well, which causes some concern. So be mindful of that when you're spending a lot of time outdoors. It is really going to be a great week, sunny every day, but as you can see, temperatures are warming up. 95 by Sunday, and temperatures in the low 70s as our overnight lows. So it's going to get pretty warm by midweek this week. 87 on Wednesday, 90 on Thursday, 91 on Friday, but sunny as well, and humidity values are going to be pretty high as well. So stay hydrated and make sure you don't spend too much time outside in one sitting, or else you might have some issues with heat exhaustion, heat stroke. It is those summer months. Now, we've got another chance of a rain shower next Wednesday, but outside of that, it's going to be a pretty sunny couple of weeks.
Pretty sunny, yeah. Sunny and warm. Sunny and
Sunny
unbelievably
and hot.
warm.
And
yes.
a little muggy. We got humidity values pretty high as well.
I hate that. Yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
Right, still ahead, we'll meet two local wrestlers competing at the national level at the USA National Wrestling Duels. The USA National Wrestling Duels begin this week, and multiple young athletes from Southeast Kansas get to represent their state. KOAM sports reporter Brock Baldridge has the story.
The USA Wrestling National Duels get underway, and a handful of young athletes get to represent Team Kansas.
We got 5 or 6 local kids from Southeast Kansas qualified for the national duel tournaments. The first set of national duels is in Council Bluffs, Iowa, I believe. It's going to be the elementary age group, which is like 12 and under. And then we also have 2 Pittsburgh kids that qualified for 14 and under national duels that are in Philadelphia. This area is represented real well from on a national level the next couple weeks.
Traveling the country and competing at a national stage is something wrestling coach L.C. Davis has prepared them for.
Know that they train with the best down here in Southeast Kansas and go represent what we are, hardworking people that give it their all and do their best. So I think they'll go out there and do well as long as they go out there with confidence.
One of the kids competing at nationals in Philadelphia is L.C.'s son, DK, who's looking forward to representing his state.
It's great, you don't really get this many, memories with your parents and stuff, so it's really nice to have this memory. Usually, most people from Kansas are usually in like Wichita and Kansas City, and it's nice to have a few Southeast Kansas kids representing the state.
Man, it's exciting for me as a coach as well to see my kids. I got a couple Pittsburgh kids wrestling on a national level, so it's going to be awesome, as well as my son, so looking forward to it and just going to be soaking it all in.
Then there's Baylor Bowman, who's putting in the final touches for his journey to wrestle at nationals in Iowa.
It's going to be a fun experience. You may never win a match, but at least go out there and try to win a match. Have fun and just do the best you can to win.
Baylor's got a few ideas on what he'll do no matter the result.
Take them down, turn them, and try to just win. And if you don't, just have fun, go off the mat, walk off like a man.
In Pittsburgh, Brock Baldridge, KOAM Sports.
That's great advice. Well, the 14 and under age group competes in Philadelphia, and that tournament begins on Wednesday. That's a look at sports. We'll be right back. Apple's diving into the artificial intelligence world with a system-wide update to software on its devices. The company says its AI features will be able to do things for you in apps. Now, the new AI system can scan users' personal information to do things like gauge traffic patterns ahead of an atypical commute or proofread text in a dynamic way. But with other companies already knee-deep in AI, is this announcement too little, too late? Fox Business correspondent Susan Lee has more from New York.
All of this goes beyond artificial intelligence. It's personal intelligence, and it's the next big step for Apple.
That's Apple CEO Tim Cook explaining Apple Intelligence, the company's plan for incorporating artificial intelligence, or AI, into its devices.
And the introduction of powerful new Apple Intelligence features make these releases game changers. Built in a uniquely Apple way.
The AI plan was buried behind other announcements at Apple's Worldwide Developers Conference Monday. It's an important move for Apple after it fell behind in Silicon Valley's AI arms race. Competitor Microsoft and chipmaker Nvidia have at times overtaken Apple as the world's biggest company and second most valuable company.
Is Apple actually going to lead in AI instead of follow?
Historically, Apple tends to team up with other companies, infusing its sleek designs and marketing to overcome a slow start to trends.
The problem I have with Apple is that its core business with smartphones is too big to get excited about the underlying innovation with Apple. So as an investor, I'm curious to see, if Apple's ever going to break up into smaller companies and the innovation business can focus on that without the fat attached.
No matter how Apple's new AI initiative is received, how AI stocks continue to perform, it's important to a lot of Americans.
What will happen this week with NVIDIA, with Apple, and with AI writ large will matter a lot to all of our 401ks.
Bringing more AI into the iPhone will likely raise privacy issues, but Apple continues to assure its customers that it can be trusted. In New York, Susan Lee, Fox Business. Stay tuned. Iconic monsters top this week's list of what's new in home entertainment. Iconic monsters, golf champions, and a multi-talented violinist are among the new digital DVD and music releases available to add to your home library. Fox's Ashley Dvorkin runs down the list of what's new in home entertainment.
Iconic monsters top this week's list of what's new in home entertainment. Godzilla Kong, the new empire, features the massive creatures joining forces to fight an evil Kong-type villain.
Hello?
Sydney Sweeney produced and stars in the horror film Immaculate. She plays an American nun who moves to a remote Italian convent filled with sinister secrets.
You don't escape trauma by ignoring it.
Ava DuVernay's film adaptation Origin is based on Isabel Wilkerson's best-selling book Caste: The Origins of Our Discontents. The drama centers on Wilkerson, played by Anjanou Ellis-Taylor, researching the book while navigating her own personal losses.
People need to see us as more than just caddies and cannon fodder.
The Long Game is based on the true story of 5 Mexican-American golfers who created their own team and won the 1957 Texas State Golf Championship.
What's all that stuff?
It's called stop-motion animation. A stop-motion animator creates a film with characters that take on a life of their own in the horror film Stop Motion. Movies available from the small screen available to own. The Paramount Plus special, South Park Joining the Panderverse, centers on the popular characters tackling the issues of AI. For music fans, violinist and dancer Lindsey Sterling releases her 7th album, Duality. Born Lonely is the debut album from multi-platinum hitmaker Matt Stell. In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
And that's our time for tonight. Thanks for joining us. We're going to leave you with more footage of the Majahupa mine alpacas in Joplin. Have a great night and an even better tomorrow.